Do you ever think back on the time when you sold 51% to Chernin, like you could have went about it another way to keep that ownership? Like, okay, maybe I can go on my own and hire a CEO.
No, because we are at a time when something had to change. I think Dan, Kevin were a little bit fed up with me, I guess, at the time. Fed up's the right word. It's a band that had been together a long time, and I think they were because we were just kind of cruising, and I was starting to make pretty good money. They were making okay money, not like they are now, but it's like, what's the next step for us? Like, I started it. I predated those guys by 10 years, maybe 8 years. Like I was doing the newspaper. So I had been at it a lot longer so when they started, there was a very clear hierarchy. Like I was by far the biggest and they were coming along. And by the time that had been sold, they were all, both, big names in their own right and continue. Obviously you see them now. So it's like, all right, we don't want to be making, a couple $100,000. I don't even remember what it was at the time. What's the next level? And it made sense. Okay, we can take a jump and, all make out. And
fortunately, there's another boss coming in versus Dave swinging the sword and we're all in the same game.
Yeah, it was a clear path for them to get where we've gotten, which they're all very soon going to be like multi-millionaires so I owned 100% of the company. And when we did that first deal, I just sliced it off. It was part of it's like, all right, here's percentages for you guys. So you all own now parts of Barstool. So if we get to this next sale, because Chernin came in and it was very clear. Our goal is to sell it. Like we want to build it and then sell it. So they got the percentage. Like, all right, we're all now trying to get to that next step, which was the Penn, which is the big transaction that made them all like everything worth it. It's like everything we did was worth it.
How does everything change with Penn coming in?
Nothing. It won't change. So the Penn deal was similar to Chernin. They're like, they did deep dive. They're like, we're comfortable with you guys. We trust you guys. Jay, the CEO, is awesome. If he has any issues, he calls me. And we never really totally disagree. Like he always, every conversation was like, hey, can you do this or whatever? He prefaces like, you do what you want, but like, it would help if we did this. I've never had an issue with anything he said. And I would, you can't guarantee it. I don't think I would ever sell to somebody that I didn't feel like totally get us. Like you guys have met Jay, I assume, obviously. Have you?
I don't think we have met Jay.
Was he at the upfronts?
I don't know he was.
Was he in Arizona?
The Arizona
No,
Bowl.
he wasn't. No.
I don't think we have met him then.
Like, be at the upfronts.
Like just like normal, like blue collar background, worked in Vegas, went to Harvard, played football at Harvard. He's just like a good guy. Like you can't always anticipate agreeing with everybody, but as long as you think someone's like rational and gonna listen, it's good. So not much has changed. And this second transaction was done. Like a lot of people have gotten a little confused. I don't say confused. When Chernin sold to Penn, it was always this sequence of events. We're gonna buy this percentage and then 3 years later, the rest. I don't think they want to buy it all right away because they're government regulated. They didn't want to like scare people right away. So they wanted to ease into it. But this was always all the way to the price. Like everything was built in 3 years ago. So nothing is really changing with this.
No.
When you did the sale from 3 years ago, did you escalators? Like, hey, if Barstool starts reaching these numbers?
Yeah. But they're all within restrictions. So you couldn't go above a certain number. We're at the highest number you can go, but it was always, you can't go above this and you can't go below this. So it was pretty wedged in.
But there's going to be no change as far as like the hierarchy stuff goes, like within the offices. You know what I mean? Like Penn takes over all of Barstool.
No, because it really, like I said, for lack of better words, it was already, that hierarchy was like already there. So if Penn came down, like, we really want you to do this, theoretically, Chernin could have been like, we still own the majority of the company, so no. But they knew they were selling it to Penn. So it really hasn't changed. Like Penn doesn't tell us what to do on the content. It's more, I think, back end starting now to move forward, like migrate systems over, accounting, things like that. But not, the content's pretty separate. Like they know why they bought it. I mean, there's stuff like you guys, for example, where I can't just be like, yes, like I know that's like a big ticket item for us. I got to make sure everybody knows that. Could we have maybe slid that in? Even if they're like, no. Yeah, I guess we could have. I wouldn't, because like, what do you want to start a relationship like that?